So the thing is, yeah, women getting their feelings. They want to start saying, oh, these older men that dating younger women. Oh, they want to manipulate them. They want to do this. You know what they're doing? They're trying to make the game fair. The game has never been fair. Because when we was younger and you was dating the older guys, it wasn't fair. We had to watch you jumping into those whips, watch you doing all these things. So now it's older and you're outside. The problem is when you're 30s and you're out in the outside the festivals, the brunches, you're directly competing with the women in the 20s now. And you expect the men in their 30s to just take you just because, no, it doesn't work like that. So what you've done is you've wasted your prime youth. So if you don't want to be one of these women complaining about it's not fair, I suggest you use your 18 to 28 to secure the guy you want to be with, build with him, and then get on out of here. Because if you're out here in your 30s, all you're going to get is get your back blown out.
Nah, but do you know what though?
Just leave him.
I'm seeing on places like TikTok, I'm seeing so many like disgruntled women that are in their 30s, guys, and it's almost like because life was so good so early on, and this isn't to hate on women, but life was so good so early on that now that things are declining, and they're getting a little bit annoyed, they're getting angry with life, and they'll have videos like, oh, men in their 30s thinking that they've got time, walk like when they walk into an invisible wall and they're like, I'm too busy, I want to sleep with each other, I want to spend time, but I don't want to get married or date or have kids or anything like that. And these girls are like, you don't have time, you're 30, like you run out of time. No, we do have time because this is our time now. This is our prime. Okay, you had your time. The problem is you went out with all these like 30-year-old guys that have money and were successful, that flew you out to private islands and you had all this great life. Now that you are 30 years old yourself and those guys don't want you anymore, you're trying to go for the new 30-year-olds that have got the money and the youth, but we don't want you.
You've probably come across many middle-aged and older women who say, I know my worth, when using online dating apps. I'm not looking for a player. I'm serious about finding someone with whom to start a family. For real this time. These are the words most often spoken by a woman who has spent her life pursuing her career or passions to the fullest. Now she wants to find a good man to save her from dying alone. Women in their mid-30s and beyond use dating apps to find the one, the man who can provide financial security in their later years. They don't take into account the fact that men of that age have learned to play the field and are therefore unwilling to settle down with a deteriorating woman after being hurt so deeply by divorce, child support disputes, non-intimate marriages, and numerous rejections over the course of decades. Women of a certain age used to have an easier time finding a husband because men did not know much about women's rights in the law. This was during a time when most women were not working or living in poverty. Men didn't initially grasp the complexities of the situation, but that changed as they saw friends and family members thrown out of the family courts and their supposedly loving spouses turning against them due to unhappiness and the love of money. Years later, the MGTOW movement emerged, partially sealing the fate of mature women who had assumed they would always be able to count on a reliable cleanup man. These older women are drawn to and validated by the fact that there are still horny sissies on modern dating apps, despite the fact that it pales in comparison to the care they received when they were young. The older women have realized that they were tricked. There would always be a man around later, they were told. So, they can take their time finding a suitable partner. Focus on your career and have as many extramarital affairs as you can before settling down. And what did these ladies do about it? They ignored the reliable men and went after the men they secretly desired, so they could have all the men to themselves. But the rise of dating apps coincided with the rise of social media, so that scenario didn't play out. Dating and committed relationships began their slow, steady decline after this. If there wasn't a hookup culture, then older women wouldn't be using dating apps to find a man to commit to. Also, remember who started the meetup culture in the first place. The ladies did it, not the gents. To put it bluntly, modern women ruin dating for themselves and the next generation simply because they want to date whomever they want and have fun doing it. In light of this, I'd like to pose a question to the more mature ladies who have played a role in the decline of dating. Was it really worth it? It's unfortunate that the same women who helped destroy dating and relationships are the ones who now complain that there aren't enough quality men on dating apps. Their mothers have failed them, so now their daughters, in their late 20s and early 30s are looking for a good man to settle down with. Since divorce is now so difficult to obtain, none of these men are making any efforts to tie the knot. No man wants to settle down with a lady who has been through hundreds of men before settling down with him. And guys don't want to risk their nest eggs on a woman who's just going to steal all their hard-earned money in retirement. Men nowadays aren't so naive. Also, more and more middle-aged women are realizing that men who have successfully adjusted to life without them are happier than ever before. Women over 40 who constantly complain and exude negativity on dating apps used to be self-reliant, confident singles. You men should remember that these women have years to try to alter their destructive behaviors and, hopefully, find a good partner. Be mindful that many of these ladies have been married before and thought they could outwit their husbands. After betraying their husbands, taking his money and children, and going back on the dating scene, they were able to jump the line of other women looking for a wealthy man. In contrast, the truth is often unforgiving, as the vast majority of these mature ladies had nothing but hard, stiff pipes in store for them. They got nothing more than that, with no promises being made. Since these women knowingly put themselves in harm's way in pursuit of a larger and better deal, you should never feel sorry for them or try to rescue them. Men with money can also choose to date young women rather than older ones. If men can find and date women in their prime of life, why would they choose to date an older woman instead? Especially in the current economic climate, where another recession seems imminent and things are getting tough. Women are marketing themselves on the internet. A man may wonder why he should provide for a woman who is physically weaker but emotionally hungry. That makes no sense. And remember, once again, that it was the women who caused this by abandoning their husbands for the sake of a better life. Therefore, you should never feel any romantic interest in any of these women. Keep your veins as cold as possible and use them only for practice. Men. Committing to an older woman who had spent decades giving her time and body to other men while ignoring you when you were in your prime is a sign of desperate behavior. Furthermore, women of those ages will divorce their nice husbands because they are unsuitable wives, and then they will come and take you to court and make you pay for it. They just need a way to save for their golden years. Due to the abundance of older women interested in you, you should exercise caution when using dating apps. When they were younger, they would make fun of you behind your back and show complete disregard for your feelings while laughing hysterically. When they're older, what makes them think you're a good choice? It's just a trap, fellas. They're trying to round us up. They don't value us at all. Don't ever lose sight of the fact that all they care about is getting their hands on our cash, and maybe even our kids. That's all for today's episode on Circle of Kings. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It motivates me to create more content for you. See you next time. Cheers.